I have the honor and privilege to now be in conversation with one of those 2020 Spark Grant recipients and leaders of the National Black Bank Foundation, Tishaura Jones. She's also the newly elected mayor of St. Louis and a Rodel Fellow. Mayor Jones, it is wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for spending a little bit of time with us.
Well, thank you for having me. Good to see you.
I'm going to jump into two questions because this is a Spark Talk. So here we go. So the first question, Mayor Jones, what do you see as the connection between financial security and social stability? And what does that mean for the people of St. Louis and your term as mayor?
Yes, again, thank you for having me, and it's good to see all of the fellows. I think the biggest connection between financial stability or security and social stability is predictability and reliability. People who have financial security obviously have predictability and reliability in their income, and social stability is the degree to which those are present in our institutions. And unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people experience both financial security and social stability at the same time. And so I think it's my job as mayor to show that these things are possible, to create an environment where financial security and social stability can exist by developing trust in our institutions and having our actions speak louder than words. And again, creating an environment where they're all possible.
It's interesting you should say that. I can't agree more. And I'd also say that I think that the research at the center that we found, even as far away as the Arab Spring, was that uprising was really about economic uncertainty and economic exclusion, which almost fed right into the social instability. So this notion of having both at the same time, I can't agree more, is primarily important and such a great role for you to take on as mayor. And speaking of institutions, Mayor Jones, you know, we live in a world where people are increasingly losing trust in institutions and in the other. How do you think we move from social stability to greater social trust? And what role does trust in institutions play in creating stronger, more inclusive communities?
Well, I'll have to be frank with you. I don't blame people for not having trust in institutions and the other. I'm from Missouri, and Missouri is what we call the show me state. And so our actions have to speak louder than our words. A lot of times people look at politicians like myself who make all of these campaign promises on the trail. And then when we get in office, don't deliver on those promises. And so we have to keep our word. Our actions have to speak louder than our words by creating an environment that leads with racial equity at the center through our policies, through our spending, and through our intentional investments in communities that have been left behind and ignored by their governments for far too long.
So what I'm hearing from you today, Mayor Jones, is pretty impactful. Reliability, predictability, stability, security, and keeping your word. Those are 5 phrases to live by, and I am in awe and so honored that you spent some time with us today, and we all look forward to watching you lead as mayor of St. Louis.